this is frustrating. It really is. Because Brian Callahan talked about the offense today. And I'm sorry I sound frustrated, because I am. And this is what he had to say. Just have to execute better. You just don't roll out a whole new style of offense, Brian Callahan said. Brian, I don't know if you and Zach Taylor get drunk when you call your plays, but we haven't ran almost, I'd say I haven't, we have, but we've ran very, very few under center play calls this year. Now, a lot of the reason why is because Joe has been hurt with the calf strain. And it's easier to sit back in the pocket and shotgun because then you have more time to throw the ball and kind of make reads and make plays rather than being under center where, if something goes wrong, then bam, you're going to get sacked, right? If you don't trust your offensive line, you probably go with shotgun over going with, under center. But to say that we have to execute better, because Joe also alluded to that, and I do agree to a certain degree, that is true. We have to execute better, number one. Number two, our line has to play better. Number three, we need better play calls. Whatever you're calling, Brian, is not working. I don't care what way we execute it. It's not creative. It's not new. It's not unique. It's the same damn offense for the last 3 seasons. You have to call something new, something creative. Last season, we had a problem in the red zone. And you know what they said? They said, well, the Bengals aren't creative. They're very generic in the red zone. And that's why they're having problems. Then, for a couple of weeks, we got creative. We changed up the system. We changed up everything. And things got better. Our red zone percentage got better. Then, out of nowhere, we went back to the age-old do nothing in the red zone. And guess what? We weren't successful. We weren't. You have to change up your system if it's not working. You have to change the offense if it's not working. Clearly, it's not working. 3 touchdowns in 4 weeks, Brian. Tell me if that's successful. Tell me how you're going to go win a Super Bowl with that offense. You can't. As it says right here, which is so true. It's even more to read when you realize roll out a whole new style of offense, exactly what the Bengals did in 2022, to revive their season following a 2-3 start. So exactly what we did last season is Brian Callahan saying, no, I'm not doing that this season, guys. We're not doing that because it's execution. It's on the players. There's a mentality, right? I think Bill Belichick said this. Players win games, coaches lose them. I agree with that now. Because a lot of it is on our players. Obviously, Joe has to play better. He has a calf strain. I'm not going to, say that's all on him because he is hurt. He shouldn't be playing, by the way. He should just not be playing, right? He should just not be playing. But if he's going to play, you got to go out there and play your best football, okay? You have to. I know he's trying, and I'm not really blaming him, but I'm saying part of the execution is on him. Part of the execution is on the offensive line. And part of the execution is on Brian Callahan and Zach Taylor. Because there's no excuse why we should be scoring 3 touchdowns in 4 games with this offense. I don't care if Joe has a calf strain. You got to figure out plays. You got to call plays that are going to get open, that are going to make, crazy concepts. Look at last week's first drive versus the Titans. We looked amazing. Look at the Rams game, first drive. We looked amazing. How are we looking amazing on these drives and then finding ourselves not being able to do anything after the first 15 scripted plays, Brian? Yeah, your first 15 scripted plays, they might work. They might look good. They might get you, a little bit of a A+ on your science fair project. But after those first 15 scripted plays, it's the same exact offense for the last 3 seasons, Brian. You're not changing anything. You're not. You're calling the same thing and then trying to say it's execution. You are... The offense coordinator needs to get this offense going. And I know Zach Taylor calls a lot of the offensive plays. He does. and a lot of it's on him. And I hate to say that, God do love Zach. I love Brian Callahan too. I think Brian Callahan's amazing. I was so excited this offseason when we kept him and Lou. But at the end of the day, again, you gotta blame where blame is due. If it's your fault, it's your fault. Has to be fixed. I mean, listen, this is a Super Bowl roster. If this was like a kind of middle-paced roster, but not really that good, I'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. We got to the AFC Championship game last season with this roster, except for obviously Hayden Hurst, Samaje Perine, what's his name, Von Bell, and Jesse Bates. We got to the AFC Championship game without those, obviously with those guys, but I think Dax Hill has really shown this year that he is that guy. He's a nice little replacement here for Von Bell. I think he's already better than Von Bell with how he's playing. He's playing lights out. Okay, and then on the other side, Chase Brown really hasn't gotten any opportunities, so it's not like we could see how good he is because this offense hasn't gotten going. Why don't we utilize Chase Brown, his speed and his receiving ability, or his screen passes? For God's sake, we haven't called a screen pass since week 1. Like, we haven't done anything since week 1 on the screen pass game. Why aren't you calling more screen passes? Like, there's things you can do. Right now, what we need is a whole new offense. And I'm on a point where I say maybe a whole new offensive coordinator. Maybe that too. Not yet. Yeah, I still have faith in Brian Callahan. I do. And I think the cap strain definitely is a problem. But it's not just all on execution. It really isn't. And I think, honestly, Brian, your response there, you got to take blame a lot of it too. You can't. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, I'm calling the right plays. It's all the offense. Because that's what's happening. That's what Matt Canada's doing right now in Pittsburgh. And they want his butt out of town. They're trying to run his butt out of town because he's not getting it done. And he keeps making excuses. That's the offense. It's the quarterback. It's the offensive line. It's the receivers. When everything is the problem and you're pointing the finger at everybody else, you know what that usually means? You're probably the problem. You're probably the reason why things are going down. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to put all the blame on Brian Callahan or put all the blame on Zach Taylor here. But I think the worst thing you can do when the ship is sinking is to point fingers and say it's someone else's fault. Because that's the only way you can fix what's going on, fix the problems that are happening, is by sitting there, taking responsibility, and trying to fix it yourself. Understand that you are not above anybody else in this organization. You are going to try your best to fix the problem. You can't sit there and say, he did it, he did it, he did it. It's execution. Joe needs to play better. You need to call plays better, Brian. Joe has a calf strain. He shouldn't be playing. That's part of your organization. That's part of your coaching staff who's putting him out there. Oh, but we just point fingers now. It's easier to point fingers than to take blame. Sorry, guys. I hate this mentality. Well, we don't need to roll out a whole new offense. Because it worked in the past, right? Why do something that worked in the past? Whatever offense you're running is not working, Brian. And it's not going to work overnight. It's not going to automatically start working now because, the Tooth Fairy showed up and now you have all the magic beans and Jack and the Beanstalk is coming down the beanstalk. Like, no, it's not going to change anything by you just saying, well, it's the execution fault. This is what Joe's been saying too, and it's frustrating me to all heck. Don't sit here and tell me over and over again it's execution's the problem. How are you fixing it? I don't want anyone to tell me what the problem is. Tell me the solution, okay? Joe, Brian, Zach, tell me the solution. I don't want to hear your problem of why something isn't working. Tell me what the solution to the problem is. Well, we aren't executing better. So, finish your sentence. We now are going to start utilizing under center plays because we aren't executing correctly. We are now going to start running slant routes during the game because we realize that works. And we're so dumb that we can't even figure out that worked. Figure something out. Okay? That's what I want. I don't want excuses on it's not executing. I want you giving us answers to why it's not executing. I want you to give answers on how it's going to work. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Oh, sorry guys. I usually am very upbeat when it comes to some of these things, but I do not like it when offense coordinators do this card or pull this card in any type of, system. Because it's like, listen, at the end of the day, this is how losers speak. This is how losers think. Losers sit there and they refuse to admit that they're part of the problem. They refuse to try to find solutions, and they accept. Do never, ever, 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 ever accept. You gotta figure out and keep fighting. You gotta do better for Houday Nation. You gotta do better for us fans. And we gotta get this going. This season's not over. That's the thing. This season was over and he was saying this, I wouldn't be as frustrated. But this season's not over. We have plenty of time left. The kitty goes meow, and it's going to go meow all night long. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.